welcome back to the Give and Go. I'm your coach Reynoso here with my boy
Soltero. What's up, y'all?
We're going to react to the Usmnt national team roster release for their September friendlies against Canada and New Zealand. And if anything, I'd just like to get your proper reaction to the USA hiring Pochettino, and honestly your post-Copa America thoughts, since we really haven't talked about them since then. Thoughts on Pochettino guiding this team forward and what the future is looking like for the USA.
It is interesting, especially for this window. There's not going to be no Pochettino yet. And so that's kind of annoying. We're not going to really see his ideas till, I guess, October, hopefully. And technically, we haven't even signed him yet, by the way.
I saw it. Dude, the USA released a kind of scary tweet that people are getting a little shook about because they worded it so well, because they're trying to make clear that Mikey Varas will be serving as the interim head coach. But the way they started the tweet says, with the search for a new head coach continuing, Mikey Vargas will serve as interim head coach.
Yeah, I guess they can't legally say that they're going to get Poch unless he's signed.
I guess, yeah.
I guess. So they have to say that they're looking.
Gets me a little worried.
I hate that, man. God damn.
Play with me right now, man.
For real, bro. So, yeah, I just think it's going to be an interesting window. It's an opportunity for new players to get capped, right? It's just 2 friendlies, no competitive play here whatsoever. So it's the perfect opportunity to, just see what's out there. And especially when you look at the squad, there's a lot of new faces specifically in the defending department. And it makes sense, right? Serginho Dest is out. He's also injury prone. So I think just in general, it's good to have a solid backup in that right back position instead of try to scramble right before a tournament like we did with the Copa America. Because when Dest got injured, we were like, oh shit, who's going to be our right back? Yeah. And it ended up being Joe Scally. I think he could do the job, but honestly, I think that right back position is wide open for any USA player out there to really get it. So if they go for it, I'd be down for any player to really step up and get it. If it ends up being Joe Scally, because if it ends up being Joe Scally, I'd be completely fine with that too. I think he is a good player. He's a good defender. I would just like somebody a little bit more offensive maybe, but we'll see what ends up happening over the next year or two in that position. But also, I do wonder what's going to happen in the center back positions. Yeah. Is Tim Ream going to be our guy in 2 years' time? Because he just made the move to Charlotte, right? I'm not saying he's retiring, but it's definitely like going in that direction, right? It's just not the Prem and MLS, they're not even comparable. So I think that's a little concerning in my opinion. Chris Richards, I think he's going to be 100%. The starting center back. I'm not even worried about him. So he got called up once again. He's going to be fine. I have zero problems there. But I do wonder, are we going to play with that center back position that was once Tim Ream's? Are we going to play with it? Is it open? How's Pochettino going to approach that? I don't know. So that's why this window is a little bit annoying, because it's honestly, we're probably not going to get a lot of answers here other than just players who haven't gotten capped might get an appearance or two.
100%.
So it could be, it could be fun.
Let's just start the goalkeepers. Ethan Horvath gets called up. Diego Cochin, Patrick Schulte, and Matt Turner. The 2 surprises or just topics of discussion are Ethan Horvath still getting the call up. How do you feel about that?
That's fine. Care? I mean, he's been our backup for a while now. I think he's fine. He's going to be our guy.
Schulte played throughout the Olympics, so that makes sense. And then Diego is interesting because I didn't know about this guy till today, and I saw the reaction from diehard USA fans. He's at Barcelona. Yeah, and he's a 18-year-old goalkeeper that represents America, dude. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy. I remember seeing him on the lineup for Barcelona like last year, and I was like, oh, there's an American at Barca goalkeeper. So he's not going to get a lot of playing time at all. No. But it's still really cool that he's with the club and he's training every day with some amazing players. I love it. I'd
love to see him get some minutes.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Defenders: Aaron Trusty, Marlon Fosse, Christopher Lund, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, Joe Scally, Caleb Wiley.
Yeah, a lot of new faces here, which is really exciting. I'm very curious to see what Varos ends up doing with this lineup. Obviously, right, Ream and Richards are the veterans, if you will, of this defensive squad. But, I mean, I'm down to see a lot of these players. I've heard a lot of Christopher Lund, Austin Trusty as well. Low-key, I've never heard of Marlon Fosse. Like I've never heard of it. I don't know who that is, bro. I have no idea who that is, but it's awesome. I believe he actually is a right back, though. Okay. So maybe he puts in a good performance.
Yeah, and I know Caleb Wiley, I believe he's a fullback, but I saw the highlights of Lyon versus Strasbourg where he got an assist in it, and efficient. He was impactful in the game. So seems like his season is off to a good start. On loan at Strasbourg from Chelsea, actually. Young player as well. I would love to see him get some minutes throughout these 2 games to just kind of get a better definition of what his role could be with the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Midfielders, Johnny Cardoso, Luca de la Torre, Aiden Morris, Yunus Musa, Gio Reyna, and Malik Tillman.
Yeah, once again, I wish Poch was here because I want to see what he would do with this midfield. For me, this is the next big question outside of the defense that needs to get answered by the new head coach is who are we going to play in this midfield? Obviously, it probably should be Weston McKennie if he's playing every game. I think he's sorted things out with Juventus, so he'll probably be back playing game in, game out. McKennie is going to be one of our better midfielders. He's going to be our go-to guy at the World Cup. But then the question is, who do we pair alongside McKennie? I think I really like Yunus Musa, but is it going to be Gio Reyna, right? Because that's what Berhalter ended up doing in his last couple months as head coach. He put Reyna in that midfield position right alongside McKennie, and a lot of people did not like it. They wanted him out on the wing or in a much more further advanced attacking position, but he's listed as a midfielder here. I'm wondering if Varis is going to put him in the same position as Berhalter did, and again, whoever the new head coach ends up being, I'm so curious to see what they do with Gio. His skill set is just too high for him to not be on the pitch in some form or fashion, but where is it going to be? Is it going to be an attacking role? Is it going to be in a conservative role like he was doing with Berhalter? Is he going to be out on that right wing opposite of Pulisic? I have no idea. That's why I just can't wait till we get a new head coach because that needs to get answered.
Get clarity on that.
Yeah.
Man. He's such an enigma, even at club level with like his current situation with Dortmund and then with Nottingham Forest. Like I would love to get a clear idea of what Gio Reyna is at the club level and at the international level as well. And the midfield is a big topic because you're right. For sure, I think Weston McKennie will start no matter what. But the pairing midfielders, I mean, Tyler Adams, where does he land on this conversation?
Yeah, man.
And then you have the interesting rise of Johnny Cardoso, who apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, is getting reached out to by Tottenham to potentially be acquired from Real Betis after a really solid season there, after some really good seasons in Brazil for Internacional as well. Where does he land in this midfield equation? Because then you have 3 or 4 players that could deserve a shout in the midfield that I think ultimately is a good problem to have, but does need to be solved by Pochettino.
Absolutely. And I want to see both Cardoso and Luca de la Torre get way more minutes under whoever the new head coach is. Because I want to see, can they play a big role for the USA? I think their skill set says yes, but I need to see what the coach thinks their role is going to be alongside McKennie. Because you're right, Berhalter very rarely would change that pair alongside Weston McKennie, but now we got room to play with.
Yes.
And I think the talent there in Cardoso and de la Torre is there to have some fun. And I think they could definitely open up things, bring more ball facilitation to our midfield, because that's what I think we lacked at the Copa America. Outside of McKennie, we don't really have other guys that can combine with Pulisic or combine with Balogun. If we can get a midfielders that are a little bit more creative like Cardoso, I think that might be a key to playing some fluid football.
And then lastly, up top, we have Brendan Aronson, Folarin Balogun, Ricardo Pepi, Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent, and Haji Wright. Any misses here?
No, these are the usuals.
Yeah.
This is who have been getting called up for the last year and a half, and these are who should be called up. So I'm completely fine with this. Obviously, if this was a competitive match, it's going to be Pulisic, it's going to be Balogun. I guess the right wing could be anybody, right? Weah did not get the call up, but if you expect him to be healthy, expect him to be playing in Europe, game in, game out, he'll probably be our starting right wing. But I'd be open to maybe seeing how Josh Sargent could play in that role, because I do think he's an excellent passer of the ball, which could be really interesting. If you have a penetrator like Pulisic on one side and a really good passer on the other side, I think that could add to maybe a little more variability, because at the Copa America, we were predictable. We were just too predictable in our offense. So if we can just add a little bit more flair to it, I think a guy like Sargent could be really good for us.
Wonder when Kevin Sullivan will get a call up.
No, honestly, man, I'm so curious to see his whole career turn out for the next couple of years.
I bet it happens after the World Cup.
Has to.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of like how Pulisic got really integrated after the 2018 miss.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the same thing. After 2026, Sullivan might start getting integrated, yeah.
Folks, let us know, who do you think is missing out of this roster selection? Which players you're excited to see? Which players do you think deserve to get called up? Let us know everything in the comment section down below. And also let us know your thoughts on Pochettino and this interim head coach that will be guiding them for these 2 friendly matches. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.